Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of the day it is for you. My name is Eva Marie Everson. I'm the director of Florida Christian Writers Conference. And as I say every single time, but it's still true, my favorite sidekick is here.
I'm your only sidekick, I think.
This is true.
I'm Taryn Souders, and I am the co-director of the Florida Christian Writers Conference. And
Yes.
Eve is my favorite boss.
Yeah, well, what can I say? I got the cup to prove it. I got a coffee mug. Yeah,
That's true.
the world's
That's true.
greatest boss. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's it. That's it right there. I'm not bossy. What is it?
Uh,
Somebody gave me something one time. It says, I'm not bossy, I'm just the boss, or something like that. Tell
exactly.
everybody what to
Exactly.
do. Yeah. So, hey, guess what we're going to talk about today? We're going to talk about our continuing classes at Florida Christian Writers Conference, which is coming up in October, but we're also going to talk about a couple of other things, like some pre-conference things and some during the conference things. We talked last time about Michelle Medlock Adams, who is heading up um, the children's picture book intensive. It's all day long on Wednesday. She only accepts, I think, 12. Is that correct, Taryn? 12
That is
people?
correct. Yeah.
Okay,
There's a
so she only accepts 12 people. And then Angie Hunt will also be with us all day Wednesday to lead a fiction intensive, and she will only accept 35. And then also Bethany Jett, and I think her class is unlimited. Am I
I
correct?
believe so.
Okay,
Yes.
so she is going to be talking to us about marketing, and that class runs in the afternoon, several hours. So if, marketing is something that just stumps you all the way around, hate the marketing part.
Take the class.
Hate the marketing part. In fact, I just said to my agent, I miss the good old days when as writers we just wrote. They had all these marketing teams that took care of all this for you. And this was before social media, and social media totally changed the game on this. So now it's so much of it is up to the writer. You don't just get to write. There's that old belief that you write the book and then everything else takes care of itself. Not true.
Right. Right.
Listen,
That's not true.
that's just
That's a
not
little
true.
bit
And I
true.
have to tell you, one of the hardest working people I know in this industry is that sidekick over there. I don't know which direction she's in, but she is always hopping on a jet plane. She is the jet setter. She's going to school. She writes middle grade, and she's hopping off and going to all these schools all over the country, people, all over the country. And even all over the world. She went to Scotland last year just to talk to middle graders and just, to get them excited about reading. But that's a lot of energy. And you have to be willing to do some things that really do. You just got to know what it is you're doing and how to do it and all of this. And I know you've even taught classes, Taryn, on how to get those speaking gigs at
Yeah.
schools.
Well, which I think is an excellent segue into our continuing classes because
Yeah.
we actually do have a speakers track.
Mhm.
So if you are maybe you kind of have an idea of how you want to market, but you're not really sure like what you would even say, how do you go about speaking to people? Maybe you have a fear of speaking to people. Maybe you just need a push in the right direction. I
Mhm.
would 100% recommend that you attend the speakers track, which is going to be taught by the very funny, very entertaining, very knowledgeable
Yes.
Linda Goldfarb.
Yes, this is the first time teaching this for us. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not her first time teaching, but
Oh
her first
gosh,
time
no.
teaching it for us. Yes.
No, no, no. And if you've ever been to the Blue Ridge Christian Writers Conference, you know
Mhm.
exactly who she is, or if you've listened to her podcast,
Mhm.
um, she's just absolutely so fun to talk to
Yeah.
and to
Yeah.
listen to. And she knows the industry so well. So I totally
Full of
recommend.
energy too.
Oh,
Just
full of it.
she is going to inspire you to want to get out there and be the best speaker yet. And on that note, Linda has actually been at the Florida Christian Writers Conference for the last couple of years recording her podcast. And this year, because she's stepping into the speaker track role, somebody else is going to be bringing their podcast to Florida Christian Writers Conference and doing some recordings. And that is our very own Tina Yeager.
Yes. And Tina, again, excellent teacher, excellent podcast. And I'm hoping that we're going to do the same thing this year that we did last year, Eva, and that is they would actually invite people in to observe. If you're like, what is a podcast interview like? How should I prep for a podcast interview? If someone has asked to interview me, you can sit in on these, and they're a wonderful learning experience
Mhm.
in and of themselves. Tina Yeager, again, she has been with the Florida Christian Writers Conference for years, and
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to her taking this on.
So then also on that note, Andrew Hamlet of Hamlet Productions is going to be back. He's a videographer. He did a video of you. He's done a video for me. Did a lot of videos last year. And his cost is a fraction of what you would pay him to do the very same thing if you were reaching out to him away from the Florida Christian Writers Conference campus. So what was it? Like 250,
I
299 or
think it was
somewhere?
250, I think is
Yeah.
what it was.
Might have been 250, somewhere between 250 and 300. So we'll call it 275.
There you go.
So that would just make it so much
Something
easier.
like that.
But I mean, and the work is really good. And I have to tell you that, there was some tweaking that needed to be done to mine. Taryn's was perfect from the jump. I mean, it was so good. And
Mm.
he just, I mean, tweaked it like that for me. No problem, Eva. Happy to help you with that. These are the videos that you can use in your marketing. Like, okay, so Taryn,
Yes.
tell the viewers how you used yours.
Right. So because I do so many school visits, I found myself over the years, and I've probably done well over 300 school visits.
Yeah.
I repeat myself a lot to librarians who maybe have never invited an author to speak at their school before. They don't know what to expect. They don't know what they should do. They just want some advice and a little bit of hand holding, which is 100% understandable. So last year, I put together I think it's like a 1.5, maybe 2 minute video of, hi, I'm Taryn Souders, and I can't wait to come to your school. And these are some things you can do to make our school visit day go smoothly. And I just gave them a bunch of tips of things that they could do on their end so that they felt very much prepared. And so now when I reach out to schools, and I'm heading out next week, heading up to Georgia again. And I will be sending this librarian probably later on today, actually, the video link saying, hey, can't wait to be coming to your school. Here's a fun little video that might answer any questions you have. Let me know if there's something in this video I didn't answer for you, and I'll get back to you right away. But that usually ticks a lot of the boxes, and it saves me a ton of time because I am not replying to emails
Mhm.
that are the same emails that I get every year.
Yes, exactly. And not only that, but I think that videos they're watchable.
Yeah.
So that made
Yeah.
sense, didn't it? Somebody's going to be quicker to watch a 2 minute video than to read what it would take them 2 minutes to read. And they
Yeah.
can jot notes as
Yep.
they are listening to what you're saying. So if they have any further questions, then there
Yep.
you have it. For me, it was I have a book coming out in May, Miss Beth Betancourt, and I wanted a book trailer to go along with it. So, I'll be releasing that very, very soon. So excited. Finally got it. Like not only did I get it from Andrew, but now I've got it to where it's the perfect timing in my marketing plan to release it. So, yay,
That's
Andrew's going to be
fantastic.
back this coming year. After this year, he's going to come back every other year. So keep that in mind if you're thinking, oh, not this year, but maybe next year. If that's what you want, go ahead and do it
Yeah.
this year. Okay, let's go back to continuing classes. We talked about Linda Goldfarb will be leading the speaker track, screenplay. This will be the third year that he's joined us, and it's been so successful so far. We want him to come back again. Billy Wayne Arrington.
Oh, and Billy, oh my gosh, if you've never met him, he like literally is just a ray of sunshine. He is, I don't think he's never not smiling.
I know it's true.
I just use a double negative, so I don't actually not sure how I ended that one, but
He's always smiling.
he is always smiling. Um, and he is fun. He's an excellent teacher. He has his own theater that he actually operates out of Chattanooga, Nashville. Where
I
is he
think it's
from?
in maybe Kingsport, Tennessee. It's somewhere in
Yes, I
Tennessee.
think
Yeah.
that's it.
Hmm.
It's up in
Yeah.
Tennessee. So drama is his thing. He
Mhm.
knows the ins and outs of that industry. And so this is going to be like, how do I write a screenplay, or
Mhm.
how do I take what I have and put it into something that's actionable? And so he's coming back, and he's also going to be leading worship with us, but he's just so much fun.
A man of many hats. Yes.
Yes.
Or even, you can take your novel and turn it into a stage play. That's something, of course, that is it's totally in his wheelhouse. But
Yes.
you'll learn an awful lot from Billy and just be blessed in the process. Okay. Something we've done now for years because Word Weavers International, which is a critique arm of the
Mhm.
publishing industry, owns Florida Christian Writers Conference. We have a critique continuing class, and this is headed up by Shelley Arnold and Jan Powell. They only accept 10 into this
Yeah.
class.
Yeah.
And
And that's because of the word count. Yeah.
and yes, and uh, a lot more words than what you can bring to a word weavers meeting. I don't remember now. Is it 5,000 words, maybe? It's between three and
We
5,000.
should know
We'll call it
this.
four. Yeah, I know, right? So Tara's going to look that up.
I'm gonna look that
And
up as we speak.
just so you know that it's an intense time of critiquing your work and getting it where it needs to be. I think probably most people bring their first three chapters because, in all honesty, it's those first three chapters that matter the most to editors and agents and to possible publishers. So getting that good and ready, and or bringing a section of your work that just has fallen flat and there's nothing you can, it's like, I don't know what to do to make this work, and bringing that in, and they will help get you there. The class is sold out, doesn't cost anything, but it's it's book
Right.
solid every single year. And people tell us all the time, it was like, if nothing else, if I did nothing else at this conference, this was worth the price of the ticket. So did you find it?
Did I found the number? So it's 1,500 every time you meet. So you get
Ah,
anywhere from 6,500 to 7,000 words critiqued.
okay.
So
Yeah.
that is a good chunk.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's not what I was talking about. I'm sorry. I just got a text. My daughter and her children are they're all three sick. So I was like,
Oh
oh
no.
my goodness. Okay, back to the real world. Or the not so real world. Ah, children, children. Speaking of
Speaking of,
children,
yeah,
we have
exactly.
Michelle Medlock Adams coming back again. I mean, you
Yes,
just
yes.
can't beat Michelle. Let's just, you just can't beat Michelle. So she's always like, well, if you want me to do something else. So we might have her do something else next year. But for
Oh,
this year, uh, she will be teaching the children's track again. She is full of energy. She brings and I'm not kidding because she brings it to my house, a suitcase full of books that she uses to teach from.
yeah.
So it's not just a matter of her standing up there and just, flapping her jaws, as they say. She shows you the work and
Yeah.
how to make your work the best work it
Yeah.
can be. This class is so full of energy and so much fun. So if you're a children's book writer, again, you can take the 1 day intensive, but she's only going to accept 10, 12 people for that. And that's just for picture books. But this
Right.
is children's book writing across the board, not
Yeah.
just war books.
Yeah. And if you're not sure, like you want to write for kids and maybe you think you've written something for kids, but you're not really sure what category within children's it falls into, because there are a ton of
Mhm.
categories, please, please, please attend her class so that you actually, when you go to pitch,
Mhm.
you're educated and you know what you're talking about, because you don't
Absolutely.
want to
Yeah.
shoot yourself in the foot by saying, I've got a middle grade book with my 6,000 words, and yeah, you don't want that.
No, no. You need to add about what, 34,000 more words?
Yeah, add,
Yeah. Yeah.
quadruple that or
Yes. Yes.
quintuple that,
And
you'll be fine.
yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of times you can go into the internet and say, well, what is the word count for a picture book, or what is the word count for a middle grade novel, etc. and you'll get a wide variety of answers. But when you come to a conference and you are taught by somebody who is in the industry, who knows that word count, that's where you want to be, because that's where you're going to get your absolute right answer.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, devotionals, those two things, and how are they different? A
So
devotion goes into a devotional.
correct.
A
Yes.
devotional is the entire book, but
Yes.
a devotion can also be something that you send into an online publication and that type of thing. In fact, I cut my teeth writing devotions for 6 months before, way before. Like this was, I was writing my first novel, didn't know what I was doing, but I was writing it. But I wanted to get my name out there. So I started writing these devotions for an online devotional.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
It does make sense.
Yeah.
And our devotional class is going to be taught by Ava Pennington,
Mhm.
who, again,
So
like
good.
really, we only bring the nicest people into
Yes, we
faculty. She
do.
is so, so kind, so sweet, so knowledgeable in this area. She has multiple devotionals out and she has written tons of devotions.
Mhm.
And so you are going to learn a lot. And this is something, again, it's it's not like, well, this is the lower tier of writing. That's
No.
not at all what it is. In fact, it's probably more difficult to write a devotion than it is to write a novel because you have to write so tight
Yes, you do.
and concise and clean to get your point across, and you have a very limited word count, even smaller than children's picture books.
Mhm.
And that's a lot of that's difficult. That is a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
So please attend if that is your ministry. If you're like, I just want to pour into people something that they can read, busy moms, busy dads, crazy teens, something they can read, 10 minutes
Mhm.
and just process throughout the day, go to Ava's class.
Yeah, it is. I love what you just said. This is not bottom of the tier, not at all. And the thing about devotions and devotionals is that, again, you've got this wide variety. So you've got, you can write for children, you can write for teens, you can write for moms, you can write for nurses, you can write for doctors, you can write for lawyers and
That's
Indian
right.
chiefs and all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, every facet of life there is a different type of devotion slash devotional for these types of people. And you may be called just to write devotions or devotionals for children, or your ministry may be to, something that's kind of quirky and odd, and yet that there is a strong need for
Yeah.
this. I know, I see these all the time, devotionals for teachers. Gracious, goodness knows, teachers need that little bit of umph that that they can get in a 5 minute clip every
Yeah.
single day. So
Yeah.
anyway, I'm rambling. We've already talked about speaker. Let's talk about nonfiction or nonfiction track. Yay!
Yay. Well, our nonfiction track is going to be taught by Alan Arnold, who is also our keynoter, and he's also going to be teaching in the intensive class. Eva, you have wrangled him into teaching a lot, and he is so willing.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, if I'm there, I don't want to just sit in my room. I don't want to just, take walks and all this. I'm like, okay. He said, put me to work. I love to work. And so Alan, first of all, Alan is an icon in this industry. He is, I remember when I first came into it 30 years ago, I would hear about Alan Arnold, and his wisdom and his godliness, and that he, like, yes, he was a professional in this industry, maybe a publisher, associate publisher, editor, etc. But what people spoke about most with him was what a godly man he was and what a good person he was. And so um, we had really hoped to get him back in 2020 to come as a keynote speaker, and then we all know what happened in 2020. And then because of his ministry with John Eldridge, and I think that's right, I think it's John Eldridge. He was always just so busy, but this year our timing just worked out, and he said, don't just have me teaching this continuing class. Uh, have me teaching workshops, and brought him in on the intensive on
Intensive.
Wednesday, the nonfiction intensive that we're offering all day on Wednesday. And then also,
He's
he's
doing
going to meet
mentoring.
with people, he's going to mentor with
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
and he's our keynote speaker.
I know.
So the man
If
is
you
going to
didn't know
be
who he was
tired when
before,
he
you
gets
will
home.
know him by the time we're
Yeah.
done.
He's like, put me to work. I said, no problem. So if you are a nonfiction writer, I'm telling you, you will not do better than this. I cannot imagine too many who are better at this than Alan Arnold. You will be blessed. That takes us into fiction. Speaking of blessed.
Speaking, yes. So Diane Mills is going to be teaching our fiction class, and she is a Texan Spitfire.
Yeah.
She packs a lot of punch. She is going to be teaching fiction. She's a suspense writer
Mhm.
and does very, very well in her field. And if you are curious about, I want to write adult fiction, even if it's not suspense, you're going to learn so many wonderful takeaways and tricks of the trade and just methods to writing that she's going to pour into you, that this would be an excellent class to take.
Yeah. And I mean, her brain is one to pick.
Yes.
I think, if I remember correctly, she did a lot of ride-alongs with special agents and things like that when she was building her characters and getting a true feel for what it was like to work in that particular industry before she just started creating a character and creating a plot line and all of that. So she has won a boatload of awards in her field and is a much in demand. I mean, in fact, a lot. Taryn and I also had the SELA Awards, and a lot of times we will get our judges, which are readers. They'll say, I want it. You got any Diane Mills?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, she's definitely in demand, and that takes us to our book proposal studio and
Yes.
our beloved Edie Melson.
So Edie, this is like the fifth year, I think, that Edie has taught the book proposal studio, if I'm right. And she does an excellent job. You need to know how to assemble a book proposal, and book proposals can be, and I hope I don't terrify anyone, but they can be very difficult and trying to put together. I know it's a joke among a lot of authors that they would rather write 10 novels and have to write one book proposal
Yeah,
because
sure.
it's
Yeah,
very difficult to
yeah.
get all the stuff in there and make it clean and crisp. Um, and
And to make it where a potential editor or agent or publisher says, "Oh, I want that."
I gotta have it.
It's
Yeah.
got to sell your book or your project. It's got to.
If it's too long, it's not going to do that. If it's too short, it's not going to do that. And there are authors who say, forget it, I'm not going to do this. And they will pay
Mhm.
someone to put the proposal together for them. And that is thousands and thousands of
Oh, yes.
dollars.
Yes. You're talking
So
at minimum 5 grand. At
yeah,
minimum. Yeah.
it is a very difficult thing and very time consuming. So Edie teaches a continuing class on, listen, these are the components of a book proposal. Let's start working on yours. So it's recommended that you have a finished piece of work, okay? Fiction, nonfiction, children's, middle grade, whatever. It
Whatever.
needs to be finished. And you bring that with you and you spend the next few days putting together your book proposal. So by the time you're done, you pretty much have it or you're really close to having it.
Yeah. So
So
yeah. So you
this,
bring your laptop,
yep,
bring a flash drive, so you can save it. And we're not going to have you printing out your entire book proposal, but some people say, can I just do a one sheet, just make one copy of my one sheet. All of that is in there. She's going to teach you all of this. And she does such a great job. I know a lot of times when I'm like darting from one room to the next or whatever, kind of have to skirt into her room and slip by and I just see all those laptops open and those
oh yeah,
fingers are just going, and
get
I think,
away.
oh yay, because they're learning. And last year I was walking down that back hallway and there was Edie still teaching after class, still leading about two or three people, helping them out, answering some of those questions that didn't get answered in class or that particular class and not even willing to say, hey guys, I'm done, just
Yeah.
come back and see me at the next class. No, she was still there working it. And as I walked by, I said hello. And one of the guys said, you better always have her here because she's the best. And I said, oh, Edie's a staple. She's
Yeah.
not going anywhere until she tells us
Yes.
she doesn't want to come back.
And so now it is a continuing class.
Mhm.
You do pay extra for this particular continuing class. You need to pre-register for it. And do you remember the cost? Is it
I think it's
six?
60.
I think
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. I
60.
think it's 60
Yeah.
because I know the last time I looked, like I said, a minimum of 5,000 is really a minimum of 6,000. And I remember thinking, gosh, that really truly is a fraction of
Yeah.
what it
Yeah.
costs to have somebody do this for
Right.
you.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Because you have to
that,
understand the person who does it for you has to read the book, has to understand the book, has to know what the market is calling for within your particular genre and the way that you write, the style of your writing, which everybody is different. Just like I could write middle grade novels and Taryn could write middle grade novels, and our style is completely different. So you would not want to do a market comparison on the two of us because we
right.
don't compare, right?
Right. Right.
And so, or even to say, like I write mystery, she writes mystery. Even if mine is adult, you cannot compare us with each other. So you've got to know that component of it. You've got to know what's out there in the market. You've got to know what the author is capable of doing within the industry in order to promote. I mean, there's just
So
so
much
much
to
to
it.
it. There is the spiritual takeaway, there is the basic plot, which is like back cover copy. Then there
Right.
is the extended plot, and
Yeah.
that's where it can get into a lot of detail. And in fact, if you are a first time novelist, let's say, they want chapter by chapter breakdowns. First time nonfiction writer, chapter by chapter breakdowns, because what they want to know is that you can carry a plot or an idea all the way through to 50,000 words, 75, 85, 95,000 words, depending on the genre. So a lot of work goes into it. And that's why it costs so much. But if you can do it yourself, you just saved yourself a lot of money.
Right. That is right. Absolutely.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I think that's it for today. Is that it for
I
today?
think that's everyone. Did we cover everyone?
Oh, you know what we didn't talk about? And I will talk about it right now, and then we'll call it a day. Karen Neumair is coming back this year, and she is an agent, but there's something that she did for us last year, first time, and it went so well that we thought we would bring it back to you again. And that is she offers pre-conference advice. So she is going to talk to you individually. She's not doing this as like a one-time workshop or anything like that. It is an individual thing. It does cost. We'll have some information about that at the website. In fact, what we may do is have Karen come in and talk with us
That'd be a great idea.
next time we do a video. Yeah, to talk about this. If you've got pre-conference jitters, if you've never been to a conference before, that type of thing, you're not sure what to bring, how to pack, what to expect. Karen is the person that you want to talk to kind of settle all those pre-conference jitters, to answer those questions that we are not able to necessarily answer individually, but that she will be able to give you that individual attention that you
Yes.
need.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll have her come next time. Sure. Okay. All right. Thank you guys. And we look forward to seeing you in October. Again, the early bird is going on right now. It'll save you $125. It'll get you some percentages off in the bookstore, and first 30 get the VIP. Remember, first 30 get free VIP breakfast. So go ahead and sign up. We look forward
And
to it.
we are going to be working on probably in the next month, working on that schedule. So hopefully, come April 1st,
Yeah.
don't quote me on that, but we can have something where y'all can see the different classes. But you know that we're going to have a fantastic faculty lineup.
Yep, absolutely. We're excited. You can go to the website, www.word-weavers.com // Florida events, and check out who we've got coming, editors, agents, freelancers, etc. Again, so excited about this year. All right, bye for now.